Hello everybody and welcome to the first ever Cameron A comb review. So no hair products today, no pomade, no gel, none of that. Today we are doing a Cameron A first, and that is I am reviewing a comb. Specifically the combs by Steel Tooth. And that is their standard comb and their dresser comb. So these two were sent to me by the owner. He got in touch with me and asked if I'd be interested in reviewing his combs and his products. And I've never done a hair comb review, but I've been trying them out for the past few days, and I would love to tell you guys what I think about them. So, let's get into it. So here is the standard Steel Tooth comb. This one, it is standard across all the different combs that he has, but he does different colored stitching and cordage on each of the combs. And as they are made out of steel, if you can hear that, kind of like rings. And these things, they are $16 and then $18 with the cordage. So pretty expensive comb, but given how sturdy they are, yeah, you won't be buying another one. And the other one is this one here, the dresser comb with the more wide teeth and same steel material, but it is black. And these ones go for 20 bucks. So both of them together, you can buy them. They have a combo pack that's somewhere around 30 where you can buy both of them, which that's what I got. And both of them together come in this really neat box with some of the logo on there. So that's the logo. It's a little bit understated on the comb itself, just at the bottom. So very standard looking comb set, not as fancy as like a Kent or anything, but that's because Kent are not steel. So this is what the combs look like themselves. So my hair as it is right now has been styled with these Steel Tooth combs. I've been trying them for about the past week, and I've been able to formulate, an opinion on them, because you guys know my routine. I use these three right here. I've got my standard crummy plastic comb that I've had for, I think, 4 years now. This has been in every single Cameron A video. It's the one that it's gone to Africa and back, and same with this Denman brush. So what I do, and then also I have this wide toothbrush, and it's just what I use to get everything through every once in a while. But my standard routine is that I apply, use the Denman, slick everything back, and then get my shaping more with my plastic comb. Now, I didn't know the benefit of a Steel Tooth comb, and I kind of wondered what the whole point of it was, why you would want a heavier comb, but as stated on back of the box, and from the owner itself, is that when the comb itself curves, it can be bad for your scalp. It can, because of the plastic, it can be an irritant to the scalp, and even if you run your finger across it and it moves like that, it is not as healthy to be scratching up your head like that. It can also lead to, it could leave more dead skin on there, it can have cuts, it can have other things that are really rough on your scalp, which after using these ones, I kind of noticed it as well, but I don't know if I'm still gonna fully drop all my plastic combs and never touch a plastic comb again, but it is a benefit to them, something that is a problem that happens with these that you won't get with a Steel Tooth comb. Now, one other big difference that I saw in using these was because this one bends and this one does not, when you're combing your hair, it is more structured and has more of a uniform nature to it because it's not going to bend. For example, if I were to mess up the side of my hair, so if I were to mess it up like that, and I go in to make a part, I go in and then I have my part and I separate it as is. Now, as I start to style it, it's just looking pretty basic and pretty normal as to what I do. But on the side here, if you notice, as I comb it back, it sticks really closely to my head, just like if I was using the same old fine tooth side of a comb. But rather than having it bump up a little bit more because the comb itself is bending, because it's flat, I've noticed it really sticks them closer to your head, like something when you use a boar brush, or even what attracts me to using a Denman brush. It really is slicking everything down on the sides really, really well, and something I didn't anticipate would happen. Now, as you see, it's all come together really nice. Let me mess it up again. and show you the same thing with this guy. Now, same basic deal, and as I'm combing it, it's very slight, very minute, but you notice it if you're meticulous with hair, as I am, that there's just the smallest bump in my hair. As I comb it back, even if I use the fine tooth side, there is just the smallest bump as you see. It's honestly probably like a millimeter of a difference. It's just a small bump that happens in my hair, but having a comb that doesn't move very much causes it to really sit down and lay better. It's very small. It's a really, really tiny difference, but something I immediately noticed when I used it just because I comb my hair every day. And after combing my hair every day for the past however many years, I noticed that it's going down a lot easier, especially with a lighter product. Today I'm wearing O'Dowd's Water Base, which is a standard medium. So it's just laying down nicely without using something like a boar brush, which is great. So that's all about slicking down the sides. Now let's talk about up top. So up top, when we talk about a pomp or something like that, anything that you would do up top, if you were to use your finer tooth one, you use this one to kind of get your hair uniform and everything set in this place, and then use a wider tooth comb to give yourself volume. One thing I've really loved with this comb right here is the volume it gives, much like any other wide tooth comb. And that's not because it's steel, it's just because the shape of the teeth is very nice. It's a good width. It's the kind of width that I like. And if you want to get your hair bigger without a blow dryer or something, it's all about wide teeth combs. It gives a great shape and it does a great job just going through the hair. And while your hair is already kind of going one direction and flowing in one way, as you use it, it doesn't scrape up your head. One thing I noticed with this guy as I was using it was that I could lay the comb straight down so it's touching my scalp and I don't have any scrapes. And it's not like, there are no like moments when you're going through your hair and the plastic comb pokes you. Whereas this one I could just go straight back and it doesn't in any way hurt. It reminds me of the same way that a handmade Kent comb will, because the teeth are not made with a machine, so they're not sharp, that you can just lay it down, put pressure on it, and it's not going to hurt you. Whereas something like this, I won't lie, I've used this for years, but it will get stuck and snag, and snag, once it snags on hair, it'll go flick on your head and hurt you. And I know anybody who's used combs for a while, you know the feeling I'm talking about. If I were to go back, and I can even just feel it right now, it hurts. It's sharp. And because it was machine made, well, it was machine pressed with a plastic mold. It was pressed with a plastic mold. It has all these sharp imperfections on the end. Whereas something like this, although it is also pressed, because of the material itself and the width and the thickness of the comb, it doesn't hurt. And even though these, the wide tooth on here and the wide tooth here are about the same width, it doesn't really have a sharpness to it, and it just feels very smooth on the scalp. I don't feel pain as I go through it, which is very nice. So it works well. And then also talk about pompadours, contours, whatever you want. Give it a little bit of flair, and it gives some good height and some good volume. So the wide tooth one, out of the two combs, I definitely prefer the wider one because I prefer wider combs in general. So let me finish up real quick. And that is my hair restyled. Alright, so my hair looks great right now. And it's looked great since I've been using these guys. They are quality combs. And I haven't really delved into having different types of quality combs. I've only ever tried a Kent, and although I recommend them, I never bought one because I was like, I can't see myself spending that much on a comb. I'd rather buy a new pomade. But now, after having these, I'm realizing that it is a good investment to have a nice comb. Because it's not about me thinking they'll break, because my plastic comb, I've had it for 4 years, and it's been totally fine. It's not about it breaking, but I can see just the the ease of styling and how it feels certainly a lot better on your head. But with that all said, how much I love these combs and how much I've really enjoyed them, they're not perfect, because you know me, the way I always have something to say about a product, even if it is great and I love it. I don't think anything is really that perfect. There are a few products that I try that I think are just absolutely jaw-droppingly amazing. And one con that I found with this stuff was once you are putting things in your hair, once you are applying your pomade or your gel or whatever, there are natural knots in your hair. And as you comb through them, the purpose of a comb is to make it straight and to make it all going the same direction as all these lines on here. That's the purpose of a comb. And when you get your hair all going one direction, because it's all in these knots, because of the steel and because it's so tough, it can have initially some pain to it. And initially you're like, ah! And that's because with a plastic comb, I talked about how it bending is not good. Well, one thing that does help when it's bending is that when you are going through your hair and there are knots, when it bends, it's not as strict to the knots, and the knots kind of let loose a little bit as you're going through, and so does the comb. The comb lets loose. Whereas these ones, they're not moving. So when you go through it and it has knots, your hair has to be the thing that gives, not the comb. So initially when you go, you can be like, ah, like for a little bit as it goes through, but once you're all the way through, it is smooth and it is nice for each one of them. Once you get initially through, it's nice and smooth. So here's the way around that, because these are quality combs that if you apply with a Denman brush, like I'm still going to do, apply with a Denman brush and use these guys for styling. Applying, I would not recommend them that much, but for styling, I have been very impressed. I really, really like it, and although I'd never been into making a comb investment, I honestly think it's something I should have been doing for a long time. I was big into Afro picks for the longest time, as you know, but over the years with my hair just getting less and thinner, I just don't have enough hair for an Afro pick to do me justice. So I can get away with just using combs. And with these combs being as impressive as I've seen, and being as impressed with these, a lot more impressed than I thought I'd be, I definitely would recommend them. I recommend getting yourself a quality comb. These would be great ones to try out, and with other combs, other quality level styling products, styling devices, I want to look more into them because I've been so impressed with this avenue I've never gone down. And who knows, I maybe end up doing some more in the future because this really has shocked me with how impressive it is. But either way, I have been impressed. I think I've said that word many times. These are good combs. I would recommend them. So, all in all, there you have it. Those are steel tooth combs. Thank you so much for watching, and before we get to the end of the video, I wanted to express how thankful I am for all the support with my Murray Super Light review. It got a ton of likes, a ton of comments, and a lot of people chatting. Well, for better or for worse. Either way, people were talking, and I love hearing from you guys, no matter what you have to say, good, bad, or ugly. I'm always grateful for all the support you give me, and it's because of you guys that I keep this going on. Life's getting pretty crazy right now because I am getting married, so all the wedding planning has really slowed down all of my videos and whatnot, but either way, I am still having a fantastic time, and I'm going to do my best to get content out as quickly and as efficiently as I can. I really do love you guys. Thank you for all the support.